Here's the thing. If I gave you $50,000 today, it would feel amazing for about 5 minutes. But if I helped you earn and save your first $5,000, that would permanently change how you think about money. And look, I know that sounds backwards because we're taught that more money equals more motivation, that the big numbers are what matter. But psychologically, neurologically, that's completely wrong. Your first $5,000 does something to your brain that $50,000 never can. And most people don't realize this until it's already cost them years of financial progress. Now, you might be thinking, come on, Naeem, money is money. Why would $5,000 matter more than $50,000? Fair question. But here's what most people don't realize. The human brain doesn't respond linearly to money. According to behavioral economists at Princeton and Harvard, the emotional impact of money is strongest at the very beginning. The first win reshapes your identity. Later wins just reinforce habits that already exist. In other words, your first $5,000 doesn't just increase your bank balance. It rewires how you see yourself. Let's talk psychology for a second. No jargon, I promise. Your brain runs on something called dopamine. Dopamine isn't the pleasure chemical like most people think. It's the learning chemical. When you achieve something that once felt impossible, like saving $5,000 when you've always lived paycheck to paycheck, your brain flags that behavior as, oh, this works. That's called self-efficacy, the belief that your actions actually matter. According to the American Psychological Association, self-efficacy is one of the strongest predictors of long-term success, even more than intelligence or income. So when you hit your first $5,000, your brain learns, I can delay gratification. Can control my finances. Bad with money is priceless. Why $50,000 doesn't do the same thing? Now here's where it gets really interesting. If someone hands you $50,000, your brain doesn't learn anything. No struggle, no strategy, no behavioral shift. In fact, studies on lottery winners show that 70% of people who receive large windfalls end up worse off financially within 5 years. Why? Because money without identity change doesn't stick. You don't rise to the level of your income. All to the level of your habits. Let me make this real. Imagine two people. Person A saves $5,000 over 18 months. They cut subscriptions. They learned to say no. They tracked spending. They made mistakes and corrected them. Person B gets a $50,000 bonus overnight. Fast forward 3 years. Person A now has an emergency fund, retirement contributions, zero panic when bills show up, confidence to invest and negotiate salary. Person B often back where they started. Nothing changed internally. This isn't hypothetical. This shows up over and over in financial behavior studies. Why $5,000 is a power threshold. Let's talk numbers. In the US, 58% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency without debt. Source, Federal Reserve. So $5,000 means you can handle car repairs, medical deductibles, job gaps, unexpected travel, which means your brain stops operating in survival mode. And when you're not in survival mode, you make better decisions. You don't panic buy, you don't rely on credit cards, you don't accept bad jobs just to survive. That mental breathing room is what actually allows wealth to grow. The identity shift. Here's what most people don't realize. Your first $5,000 changes the story you tell yourself. Before, I'm just not good with money. After, I'm someone who saves. That's an identity upgrade. And once your identity changes, your behavior follows automatically. You don't have to force discipline anymore. It becomes who you are. Now you might be thinking, okay, but $5,000 feels impossible right now. Good. That feeling is exactly why it works. Anything that doesn't challenge you doesn't rewire you. If it feels uncomfortable, slow, frustrating, that's your brain learning. Let's get practical. Here's a realistic $5,000 plan that works for normal people, not finance influencers. Step 1. Stop thinking monthly. Your brain hates long timelines. Instead of, I need $5,000, think $100 per week equals $5,200 per year, $14 per day. That's it. Step 2. Separate the money. Open a high-yield savings account, 4 to 5% APY in the US, right now. Money that's out of sight is harder to spend. Step 3. Use pain-free cuts. Don't slash everything. Cut one subscription, one convenience habit, one impulse category. You're not punishing yourself. You're retraining your brain. Step 4. Small wins. Your first $500 is more important than your first $5,000. Celebrate progress. Your brain needs proof. Now, once you hit $5,000, investing feels less scary. Retirement stops feeling abstract. You negotiate pay differently. You take smarter risks because you're no longer afraid of zero. And fear is the biggest wealth killer there is. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Wealth doesn't start with big money. It starts with belief. Your first $5,000 is proof that you can plan, you can delay, you can win. And once your brain accepts that, $50,000 is no longer impressive. It's inevitable. So here's your call to action. Stop chasing the big number. Focus on the first meaningful one. Build the skill, not just the balance. Because the moment you earn your first $5,000 the hard way, no longer broke, you're becoming wealthy.